Welcome to Feisty Chess. I have black this time in a blitz game against Dejan Mulya. D4. Every white player is playing D4 lately. Okay, London system. I've heard about a system C5 immediately from a friend, so I'm going to try that. Maybe I'll transpose into some of my D5 lines. If he takes, I can either regrab it with a queen fork here, or I can play knight c6, try to plan on playing at e5 with tempo. Knight c6 is probably a good approach here. All right, knight c6 now. Yeah, c3. London players never deviate. So let's just play d. This is a nice move order trick to get people into a particular type of London. The London move order can vary somewhat, with knight f3 or knight d2 coming first. I'd rather see knight f3, and then I get in my queen b6 lines are a little more forcing. The queen b6 is probably coming up next on tap. We've got a good... all right. I think I had an over-the-board game go like this once against a younger, lower-rated opponent. They went queen e2, and then bishop, and then c4 basically trapped the bishop. Oh, is this a thing? I think I can just play c4. His idea was after queen takes, then knight b4 lands me in some trouble. But this way, his bishop won't be protecting his knight, and after queen takes, he doesn't have knight b4. In fact, he might be losing a piece here, now that I think about it. The advantages of this c5 system is some London players can get really in a lot of trouble with c4. Once you played c5, that c4 can be a real pain. So he's trying to figure out how to not to lose a piece here. If the bishop goes here, then the knight, after I take, the knight has no squares. The knight can't come back to b1 or I grab the rook. So now the knight can come back to c2. Okay. Or he's got queen a5 as well. No, he doesn't, because the rook hangs. So the knight c2 is the only move, and then I've got queen check, and we'll just displace his king. Oh no, he's got this. Okay. But no, this doesn't work. You can take with check, and now e5 should win a piece. He can take with the pawn, hitting my knight, but then I just take here, and I'm hitting his rook. So, all right, that's one idea. Just give up the London bishop. I will take those odds, actually. His knight should be trapped. Yeah. So let's get the bishop out, hit this rook. And if the rook comes here, oh, maybe I should have played the other bishop out first. Okay. Yeah, let's just take the pawn. I can't move this bishop to get my king in. So I think I'll just play this, which allows him to get 2 pawns back for the knight, doesn't it? Maybe that's not the way to go. Let's get a rook in the game, hit this. He's got to play like king d2 or f2, in which case I've got knight checks. Yeah. this. Can I let, if I play this here, rook takes, king over, oh, he forks and wins that knight. Oh, let's jump our knight in here. We're going to get our knight into f2. So he has to go back to e1, in which case I can grab this, fork these bishop and rook. Things are looking good. He's going to let me into f2. This also gives me a skewer. So he can get his knight out, but well, do I want that skewer? Go ahead and just take with this knight. Wow, he's running short on moves, isn't he? Hit that skewer, and then I've just got king c8, right? Let's play the skewer and then take on a1, h1. Or is knight e4 even the way to go here? Let's just grab the rook. Okay, now I'm coming to collect your knight. My bishops dominate things over here. All right, this is going a lot better than our last game. Played against the Petrov defense. Tried a Cochrane Gambit. You can check that out if you want to see how not to play the Cochrane Gambit, but how to play it as black, for sure. Black knew what he was doing. Probably against the Petrov. I faced the Petrov so rarely, the Russian game, that black is more well-versed in the Cochrane Gambit, as obscure as the Cochrane Gambit is, than I am. As opposed to something like the Sicilian, where I know the Mora way better than all my Sicilian opponents, because the Mora is pretty rare and the Sicilian is very common. Okay, this doesn't seem like it does a whole lot. And we'll just continue on our way, picking out this knight. So yeah, let's look at the London system here. The early c5. Usually I play d5 sooner, but we kind of transpose. And yeah, that knight a3 is a problem. I think he's got to go knight c2 here, but then I pick up a second pawn and displace his king. So that looks kind of hopeless too. Here it's a little more of an imbalance, at least. Maybe that's what White was thinking. He got that fork in. Didn't end up being worth it. Okay. Well, we can just solidify there. And if knight f5, we'll just come back bishop f8. Yeah, the bishop is not needed over here right now. I don't really want to trade my bishop pair for the knight. I'll just hang on to it. I wouldn't have a light square bishop to oppose that knight if I traded that off. Okay. Now he wants that, so might as well throw a tempo on that rook. I got that nice anchor on c4, supporting d3. The rook sadly can't come to either open file now. Okay. Do I just grab the knight or do I have something better? I think, yeah, this knight here is better. Just so I can trade off whatever needs to be traded off on... I don't need to grab that knight immediately. This knight wasn't doing much over here, so if he wants to put a piece like a knight here, we'll just take, and after rook d1, a d8, I'm just going to be up a piece. Okay. Just to quickly illustrate that. A pawn already? I am, yeah. And we just call defend. There's no rush to grab this knight. He can jump out here, pull my pawn. Shouldn't matter. That actually makes his a pawn even more attackable for me. All right. Let's see exactly where white went wrong. I think it's knight a6 and knight a3 here. Yeah, c4. Knight takes c4 is as good as it gets here, or maybe bishop takes c4. And that was this thing kind of defended. Computer likes knight takes c4 better because it likes bishops. But then I get another pawn. But yeah, I mean, he's effectively doing a piece in terms of material. After bishop here, I explained this, but bishop can't go here because this now just wins the knight outright. He's got to give himself up for a pawn because if he comes here, the rook is gone. So, actually, earlier than this, I played an over-the-board game that ended in a fantastic draw, which I intend to show this game at some point on the channel. Not knight a3 here, but queen e2 got black into a lot of trouble. Got white into a lot of trouble. Same reason, c4. And now he had nothing better than to take. So I had a piece for 2 pawns in the opening, and I might have even got this. Actually, no, taking... Anyway, the point is, I forgot how it went in the game, but the point is the bishop can't come here because now this rook is lost. Although white can try to kind of trap the queen, she can come out. So he can't really try. But the bishop has no other squares to go to. The queen blocks him back this way. The knight blocks him from going here. Even if he did go here, that would also lose the rook. Well, no, the queen guards the second rank. The bishop can't come here, 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 right? So the game reminded me of that. But yeah, this also doesn't work because of that tactic on e5. Now, if he takes with the pawn, I showed this, I'll illustrate it, then we each win a piece, but then I win a rook in the end. And actually, apparently, it's even better to do it this way. This is probably plenty good, yeah. Can also stop his pawn's progress by doing this. If he takes, then I take the rook. Otherwise, we got the bishop. I got the bishop pair rocking. You're not in that pawn, though. Okay. That was basically the game. This idea, it seems better than just going down a straight piece, but I'm going to get that knight. And I don't think there's many better ways he could have played this. It's just probably not worry so much about this pawn and get this knight into the game would have been an improvement. Still knight e4. No, rook takes. The computer says this. Planning to block this with a knight to e2. And then white can actually castle. And the knight on e2 actually defends c3. So that's slightly better. But still, he's toast here. So that knight a3 was a mistake here. You can see the evaluation jump a whole 3 points. All right. That was a good, instructive game. Thanks for watching and stay feisty.